Now, first at 5, Election Day 2020, we learned one of the candidates for Indiana Attorney General tests positive for COVID-19.
1 hour left to get in line to vote in central Indiana and join the record number of voters who have already cast ballots. We're live from the polls.
I know how important it is to vote, so I have to do my part. Some people don't believe that it's important to vote, but it is. You know, every voice counts.
Millions of Americans making themselves heard just like that Indiana voter with so many key races and the future of the country on the line.
Our civic duty can extend to our neighbors, and in that way we have even more of an impact overall.
Hoosiers helping other Hoosiers to get to the polls to make sure they're counted.
And this was not your average election day, 66 degrees for the high. How temperatures change as we go through the week.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 5, streaming now.
And we begin our coverage of Election Day 2020 with unexpected news about the health of one of the candidates running for Indiana Attorney General.
Republican candidate Todd Rokita has tested positive for COVID-19. His campaign this afternoon released information saying Rokita just recently tested positive after developing some symptoms. The campaign says he is doing well and working from home. He and his family will be watching election returns from home this evening. The former Republican congressman and former Indiana Secretary of State is locked in a battle with former Evansville Mayor and Democrat Jonathan Weinzapfel to replace Curtis Hill as Attorney General. We'll have more reaction to today's news coming up in just a few minutes.
And we have so much to get to on this busy day. We have team coverage tonight as the polls prepare to close in less than an hour and start looking ahead to the all-important numbers coming in tonight as early votes continue to be counted right now.
We start with WRTV's Megan Sanctorum live at Allisonville Christian Church, a place which has seen a steady stream of voters throughout the day. Megan.
Yeah, Mark, this has been one of the busier and more popular polling locations in this part of town throughout the day. But if you actually take a look behind me right now, you can see there's no line at all. Voters are able to walk right in. You can probably get in and out in 15 minutes or so. This is a much different scene than earlier today when the line actually went down this grassy area outside the front of the church and over to about where those trees are. Now, we could still see a rush or second wave start any minute now as people get out of work and start to make their way to the polls. Poll workers tell us so far at this location, they've seen just over 1,600 voters. Volunteers have been out all day passing out waters and snacks. And as we mentioned, this line has been moving pretty smooth, though. Nothing like the wait times we saw at some of those early voting locations. We told you there was record turnout for early voting and lots of people voting today. People seem to be in good spirits. They say they're happy to see the number of people voting and getting involved in this election.
This is a very important election, and it's awesome to see people really getting involved in it, especially the younger people, because when I was younger, politics wasn't that important to me, but I really think people see what has gone on and what's going to be for the future, so I think that's why they're out there voting.
Now, if you still need to vote, you have until 6 o'clock. As long as you are in line by 6 o'clock, you will be able to cast your vote. Reporting live, Megan Sanctorum, WRTV.
Megan, thank you. Right now, the Marion County Clerk's Office is counting a record number of absentee ballots. Around 40,000 have been tabulated so far. WRTV's Cornelius Hawker is live at the Election Services Center, where this huge task is now underway. Very busy there tonight, Cornelius.
It is extremely busy here tonight, Mark, and I just got word from Russell Hollis, he's the deputy clerk with the Marion County Clerk's Office, that they've actually counted nearly 51,000 of these early votes, these absentee ballots. And I just want you to take a look. All of these people here, some are volunteers, some are getting paid, but they are all taking their day to come here to count these ballots, to make sure there's an accurate count. That lady right there with the lanyard on her neck, I actually talked to her earlier. Her name is Regina, and she's been here since 8 a.m. And she is checking for signatures on the mail-in ballots. Here, if we can get in just a little. Well, actually, you stay back, though. We can't show you up close, but that is what they're doing. They're verifying signatures. And then back there, that is where they'll be tabulating all of the ballots that are coming in. But You know, I was talking to Raphael earlier, and it is just amazing to see all these people out here coming together, Democrats, Republicans, independents, to count all of these votes and get you guys an accurate count. Now, some things to clear up. They're not going to be done until about 10 tonight, and then they expect to have to come back here tomorrow and count all day because of the record number of early votes and absentee ballots, more than 200,000 here in Marion County. So obviously one of the busiest voting centers here in this place, here in the state. And also, everyone's wearing a mask. The pandemic is still happening, and so everyone here has a mask on. So it's pretty safe. I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio because there's a lot more to get to. But once I know any more updates, we'll, of course, be on air and over on our OTT channel. Mark, Amanda.
Cornelius, a lot of action right where you're at. And we've been getting calls and messages from concerned voters in Madison County about long lines at polling places, up to 6 hours in some areas. The Madison County Clerk tells us the county purchased new voting equipment last year, but there is not enough for each polling site. The county's original plan called for voting centers and fewer locations, but the Madison County Commission went with traditional polling centers instead. So the equipment is stretched thin. The clerk says everyone in line will be able to vote tonight. It will just take much longer than expected. We have a crew checking in with voters and officials in Madison County, and we will bring you the latest on that on the news at 6. And the rush to vote early was especially evident in Hamilton County, where early voting almost matched the entire 2016 presidential vote. With tens of thousands of Hoosiers mailing in absentee ballots this year, that means counting those votes will take a lot of time.
You reach a point where you don't have enough floor space to space workers out, socially distance, and then be able to have your teams to process. So we are at our max here today.
The clerk told us they might not be done counting absentees until Thursday.
For many people in our state, getting to the polls can be a challenge in itself. But WRTV has highlighted a number of resources out there providing voters who need one with a lift to a voting site. Some voters carpooled, others used rideshare services, and more took advantage of the Go Vote Indy program for a ride. WRTV's Troy Washington shows you how these resources help to remove an election day barrier and introduces you to two women who were strangers when the day started, but left the polls as friends.
Alicia Kissel and Tawana Carter were strangers before Election Day.
Just this morning, whenever I picked her up to bring her to the polls.
But after standing in this line together at Indian Creek Christian Church on the southeast side, there's a bond here.
Thanking for the ride to get out here and vote.
Kissel voted early so she could get other voters to the polls today.
If I had the extra time and if I have the resources, then I need to share that 100%.
Go Vote Indy got voters to polling places like this one all across the city to make sure their vote counts. Kissel reached out to Go Vote Indy to volunteer as a driver. At the time, she didn't know she'd cross paths with Carter, who reached out to 211 to make a plan to vote.
I've done it before. Yeah, just needed transportation this time. I cleaned my schedule for today. I got here at 8 this morning. Yeah. So it was a pretty long wait, but it was worth it.
These two fast friends just have one last message.
Go vote! You ready?
Yeah. Working for you on the southeast side, Troy Washington, WRTV.
Democrats are hoping for a big night in the race for governor, attorney general, and U.S. Congress. WRTV's Kara Kenny joins us live with the latest on that. Kara.
Thank you, Amanda. That's right. This year's election night for the Democrats is going to look a lot different because of COVID-19. Instead of gathering in downtown Indianapolis at a hotel, the candidates are going to be watching the results come in from locations all over the state. Even tonight's election watch party is going to be held virtually, so people gathering on their phones and tablets instead of in person. As for the governor's race, Dr. Woody Myers, former state health commissioner, is taking on incumbent Eric Holcomb. He has criticized the governor's response to COVID-19, saying the state has not done enough to contain the virus. Former state lawmaker and Democrat Christina Hale is vying for a seat on Capitol Hill. She's running against Republican Victoria Sparks to replace Susan Brooks' 5th district seat in Congress. According to the polls, this race should be very close. Indiana Democratic Party Chairman John Zodi just spoke a few minutes ago and said they have been working hard over the past few years to recruit top-notch candidates.
We're in the middle of a pandemic election. And so the decisions made by the governor and the state administration, when we've opened up, when we haven't, and the stages that we're in, I think are being reflected in people's actions all the way up and down the ballot. So we are excited about our prospects today. We are seeing a pretty high turnout all over the state.
Democrat and former Evansville Mayor Jonathan Weinzaffel is looking to defeat Republican Todd Rokita in response to Rokita being diagnosed with COVID-19. Weinzaffel says he wishes Rokita a speedy recovery and hopes his family stays safe. The Republicans chose Rokita instead of Curtis Hill, who was accused of groping women at a legislative party. Now, party leaders for the Democrats say they are very encouraged by what they're hearing from voters today, and they are hoping for some victories tonight. We're live downtown. Kara Kenny, WRTV.
Kara, thank you. Now to the Indiana Republicans. They will hold a small watch party due to the pandemic downtown at the JW Marriott. And that's where WRTV's Cameron Riddle is live for us tonight, continuing our team coverage. Cameron.
Together at what they are calling a smaller than normal watch party here at the JW Marriott in downtown Indianapolis. For the most part, they will be just gathering in a ballroom as they normally do. The governor will be here along with a number of the other Republican candidates on the down ballot. They'll be around TVs and with each other, but at smaller numbers than we would typically see in a pandemic. Instead of talking to a large crowd tonight, the governor, when and if he is able to give that acceptance or a concession speech tonight, it'll be online, virtually. The other members of the party who cannot fit inside of the JW Marriott will also be watching that way. Coming up here in the next couple of minutes, I'll actually be talking to the Indiana Republican Party Chairman, Kyle Hufer, about what tonight is going to look like and what they are expecting, and of course, the changes that they are having to make because of the pandemic. When I talk to him in about 5 minutes, I will be asking him about what is the reaction and if there are any changes that we could see now that one of their candidates, Republican Todd Rokita, has now tested positive for coronavirus. You'll hear his reaction and his answers to all of that coming up tonight on the news at 6. Reporting live downtown, I'm Cameron Riddle, WRTV.
Cameron, thank you, and we'll talk to you at 6. And you won't miss a thing tonight here on WRTV as the returns come in. It's Election Day live at WRTV, your place for continuous local updated coverage throughout the evening. Look for us on the WRTV app on your streaming device for analysis, live reports, and of course, results. We will also provide you live results throughout the night here on WRTV with a complete wrap-up on the news at 11.
Still ahead here at 5 on WRTV, COVID trouble in the Big Ten, why it means Purdue won't be playing this weekend. The pandemic has turned so many things upside down this year, including one of the biggest shopping days of the year. When is it really Black Friday? Kevin?
And if you look to the west of central Indiana, you can see we're going to stay on the mild side. Look at the warmth to our west. You'll be surprised when you see the 7-day planner.
Coronavirus is also playing a big role in this election, how it's been handled nationally and locally, the impact it's had on voters going to the polls or voting absentee, and how the polling locations themselves are set up. Let's get to today's numbers. The state today reported 50 additional deaths of people with COVID-19. They've occurred between October 16th and yesterday. The statewide total is almost 4,200. The number of new reported cases is down from yesterday, below 3,000, but not by much. 2,951. Those results recorded between Wednesday and yesterday. The overall number of cases now tops 188,000 since March. The positivity rate continues to climb. The overall rate in unique individuals is now at 10.8%. And the 7-day rate from August to October 21st through the 27th, again, that's October 21st through October 27th, is now up to 16.2%. And Purdue's football record will stay a perfect 2-0 this week because of this weekend's game against Wisconsin is canceled due to a COVID-19 outbreak on the Wisconsin team. This is the second weekend in a row Wisconsin will cancel a game due to positive cases on the team. The Badgers report 27 active cases since October 24th. That's 15 athletes and 12 staff. The game will not be rescheduled.
It's a good day in the weather office. I mean, no complaints here, especially for anyone that was
downplaying it. It's a great day.
Excuse me. Sorry. It's a great day. Fantastic day.
No record high, but hey, 66 degrees, and we got the red, white, and blue going there, and the blue sky dominated today. That was good news. Across central Indiana, temperatures responded to that as well. We started in the 30s, but temperatures almost made it to 70 in spots. Lafayette hit 69, 66 in the metro area. Any day that you can cast your shadow and cast your vote on Election Day is a great day. You could do those. So if the line was out the door, which it was in most locations, it was a pleasure to be out there. Temperatures in the 60s still, 63 in Greenfield and Fisher, 64 in Martinsville and Edinburgh. Just want to show you the core of the cold air. Remember it was cold earlier in the week? Well, that's been pushed to the north and east. Once we get Sunday and Monday out of the way, we've turned things around and warmer temperatures sit to our west. That's what will be featured as we go through really the next 7 days and even beyond the 7-day forecast. Indications for above average temperatures. What changes next week, we'll get back to a more frequent chance for rain. Our temperature trend this evening, those that are in line at 6 when polls close in central Indiana will get a chance to vote, but they'll wait after sunset, so the temperatures then will start to fall, but it doesn't get too cold. We're only destined for the low to mid 40s by tomorrow morning with a clear sky. The wind will be strong tomorrow. That'll boost the temperature close to 70 in many locations. We take a little step back Thursday. Temperatures as we go into the weekend actually peak on Sunday and Monday. Perfect timing for weekend warmth and any outdoor activities. You're still battling leaves. You'll have a nice day to do that on Saturday or Sunday. There's your stronger south wind tomorrow, gusting 20 miles per hour. That draws the warmer temperatures into the Hoosier State. Hourly forecast, we're at 61 by noon. Temperature peaks about 3 or 4 in the afternoon, and then as you can see, when the sun sets just before 6 o'clock, our temperatures will be in the mid 60s. Thursday, the change, more in the way of cloud cover. It will be mostly cloudy for a period of time. The air's dry enough, though, I don't think will generate any showers, just more in the way of clouds. 66 or so for the high temperature in much of central Indiana. Then we step into the weekend and we step into more warmth. Temperature at 72 on Sunday, still warm Monday. Our chance for showers Tuesday, that's the first chance for rain and the only chance of rain within the 7-day forecast next Tuesday, and 68 for the high. I hear music, you hear music. We'll be back with more news right after this.
The pandemic is impacting all facets of our lives, especially the economy. A big question is, how will it impact holiday sales? Some Black Friday sales are starting this week instead of Thanksgiving night. Consumer reporter John Matarese looks into when you may find the best deals this month so you don't waste your money.
With no big sales in stores Thanksgiving night this year, the whole month of November will feature Black Friday sales. Now that sounds great, but when exactly will the best sales be? This was Black Friday pre-pandemic. This is Black Friday during COVID-19, where most of us will be shopping from home. So the major stores are spreading out their deals over the whole month. Walmart has deals for days with new sales over 6 different days during November. Best Buy started its Black Friday sales even before the trick-or-treaters went out. Best Buy's biggest sale will launch November 16th for members, November 22nd for the general public. And Target has Black Friday deals all month with new savings every week. So from the Doesn't That Stink file, not knowing when to shop. It's no longer as simple as lining up on Thanksgiving night, with dozens of retailers staying shut on Turkey Day this year. Kristen McGrath of BlackFriday.com says buy the item you want when it shows up on sale. Then if they lower the price, ask for an adjustment.
If you buy something early and that retailer drops its price later, it will match that lower price.
That way you don't overpay during this month of Black Fridays. Bottom line, start your searching for Black Friday deals now. Don't wait for Thanksgiving week so you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese, WRTV.
And we have learned of another retailer's Black Friday plans. Kohl's say stores will be opening at 5 a.m. the day after Thanksgiving. The company's chief marketing officer says he expects a lot of people to be there to shop in person this year despite the pandemic. Employees at each store have been working to make sure people can shop safely. Kohl's stores will be closed Thanksgiving Day along with a number of other major retailers. Some voting locations seeing lines hours long, just 30 minutes before polls are supposed to close. Plus, we take a deeper look into the next step of the process, the counting of votes. That's tonight at 6. And an Indiana town known for its Christmas spirit is going to get some national exposure on TV. That and more next on the news at 5:30.